Hello YouTube, it is your boy B3 back with another kicking, you guessed it, graphic novel review. So a while back I reviewed Monsters Unleashed, which was this Marvel event that was basically a big homage to kind of the Stan Lee, Jack Kirby monster days of Marvel Comics. Marvel was not always a superhero publisher. At least not in the mainstream. Marvel was actually big on monster books, and part of me kind of still wishes they were, because I'm a big monster guy, and these days I am actually trying to read more monster books than superhero books. But luckily there are a lot of monster fighting superheroes, so, you know, two birds, one stone. But today we are reading Monsters Unleashed Prelude, which are a lot of monster-centric comic book issues from Marvel, spanning from the classic monster age also to our more modern age of comics. A quick read up of the back of the book. Rise of the Monsters! Before the age of marvels, a fearsome breed of titanic terrors roamed the earth, many of which are poised to rock the Marvel Universe once again. In this collection of strange tales to astonish, meet a menacing menagerie, all with unforgettable names. Gorgilla, Blip, Monstrum, Grotto, Moomba, Orgo, Brutu, Rambu, Vandoom's Monster, Goom and Googam, and don't forget Groot. Yeah, Groot was originally a monster alien, believe it or not. And he didn't always just say, I am Groot. This was a different member of his species, though. Plus, catch up with Devil Dinosaur and Fing Fang Foom, and meet Monster Hunter Elsa Bloodstone, Lady Hellbender, and Moon Girl. Elsa Bloodstone is a cool character, one I really want to like more than I do, because she seems like the perfect character for me, but then at the same time, sometimes she gets on my nerves because she's so unwilling to work with others, and it's like, okay. Lots of cool classic monsters in this book. You got Grotto, which is this giant ant mutated by atomic radiation, and it's as smart as a man. You also have Monstrum, which is a creature that lives in the swamp, and then there's like this fun twist at the end. Gorgilla, which is this huge missing link monster. Groot, who's an alien come to Earth to take it over. The Blip, who is a peaceful creature, benevolent even, but humans treat it poorly, and so they miss out on all its wonders. Vandoom, which is the name of the person who made the monster. They actually made a huge wax sculpture for their wax horror attraction in their town to get some money, you know? And it was struck by lightning and cosmic rays, turned it into a monster. That's such classic comics, right? You also have Goom, an evil alien who came to Earth to take it over, and his son, Googam, who, once his father fails, attempts to do the same. You have Rambu, another big hulking creature. The Green Thing, who is a plant that gains sentience and incredible power. Moomba, another giant being. This one, actually, a man. No, I'm thinking of Brutu, actually. Brutu, a man-turned monster. And then Orgo, another alien invader. Not gonna lie, most of these classic monsters are kind of the same thing. Most of them are just aliens who are monstrous in appearance, and they have a ton of psychic power, and humans have to find a clever way to defeat them. Or they're just defeated by straight-up circumstance, which is also a lot of the ways that these things are defeated. Lots of those monster tales have messages in them, and monster media at its core is a media of morals and messages and, you know, trying to get points across. Alien is about sexual violence. Frankenstein is about meddling with things you shouldn't, etc., etc. Predator is about badass action scenes. They're all about... Okay, maybe Predator's not super about anything. But yeah, most of these are just aliens with a ton of just convenient superpowers that they have. and they're all just defeated in really weird ways. They're very interesting reads, for the most part, just because they're so weird. But these like Stan Lee, Jack Kirby monsters, while they're drawn in really interesting ways, a lot of the monsters kind of look extremely similar. Like, what's the real difference between Moomba, Rambu, and like Gugam? There's not much of one. There's just not physically. And then like Groot and Goom and stuff are like Groot, Goom, and Orgo are literally just the same thing. They just look different and are from a different planet and are defeated a different way, but they're all the exact same thing. So the writing's not terribly great for the most part. There are some interesting things. The art is really cool, and it's all dated, but it's classic for a reason. You know, they're still very interesting reads, but only if you're big monster or big comic fans or lived through that era. Otherwise, they're pretty dated. Then we also have an issue of the Defenders where Bloodstone actually helps the Defenders fight some Brood. We have an issue from Marvel Zombies Battle World where she is fighting the Marvel Zombies. We have the first issue of Moon Girl and Devil Dinosaur. I have to read that full thing. I've been wanting to read it for a long time, and then after I finally read this issue 1, I was like, whoa, okay, that is awesome. It was a great book. We also have 2 issues of Totally Awesome Hulk, where there's like this monster collector from outer space, and she collects monsters because the people on her planets are obsessed with them, and they let them like roam free in monster sanctuaries so the people can watch them like we would go to a nature reserve to watch nature. Very interesting stuff. And she's trying to capture Fin Fang Foom, but the Hulk is a pretty impressive monster himself, so she tries to catch him as well. Interesting stuff. The art and writing on all those vary. The Totally Awesome Hulk was okay. The Marvel Zombies one and Defenders ones I actually weren't big on. I didn't really like them. And then I loved the Moon Girl and Devil Dinosaur. If you want like all the official names of the issues in this, it collects Fearless Defenders number 8, Marvel Zombies 2015 number 1, Moon Girl and Devil Dinosaur number 1, and the Totally Awesome Hulk 2 through 3, plus material from Strange Tales 1951 number 73 and 90, Tales to Astonish 1959 numbers 11 through 13, 15, 17, 19, and 23, and Tales of Suspense 15, 17, 19, and 22, written by Stan Lee, Larry Lieber, Colin Bunn, Simon Spurrier, Amy Reeder, Brandon Montclair, and Greg Pak, and illustrated by Jack Kirby, Will Shinley, Kev Walker, Natasha Bustos, and Frank Cho. So yeah, final thoughts on Marvel's Monsters Unleashed Prelude. It's actually a pretty good read. If you're a big monster fan, I'd say it's maybe even a must read. If you're gonna read Monsters Unleashed like I have, I'd actually recommend reading this first so that you understand what that book is like an homage to. You know? You want to know what it's an homage to, or you won't be able to fully appreciate Monsters Unleashed without reading some of these books, to be completely honest. And I will be doing all the other Monsters Unleashed books as well. I will be reading the Battlegrounds, which is all like the tie-ins, and I'll be reading the 2 volumes of the Monsters Unleashed ongoing, which I wish was still going, but it might not even be good. I read issue 1 and it was fine. Monsters Unleashed Prelude, if you're a huge monster or comic history fan, it's probably a must-read for you, honestly. It's a lot cheaper than the Marvel Monster Bus, which is a fortune. I don't know why each volume is $100, because I don't feel like they should be at all. I feel like that's a lot of money for dated comics and not as many issues as you would think. I'm just, really, like, that's so much money. But yeah, the Monsters Unleashed Prelude is very affordable. You can get it digital, physical, however you get comics. I do recommend supporting your local comic book store, but if you can only afford digital or if you just don't have the space for physical stuff, that's fine. That's valid. Before my, you know, comics will likely just be digital, before the end of my lifetime. We'll probably lose single issues. I bet you by the time I grow old, if I even grow old, there will be no more single issues released physically. Like, we're just going that way, 100%. Some people, even Jim Lee said we should just go full digital. But I'd really miss comic shops, to be completely honest. But I'm kind of going off on a tangent. Monsters Unleashed Prelude is fun. Most of it's pretty dated. And a lot of the specific, more modern stuff is just to introduce you to Elsa Bloodstone and not actually to introduce you to any of the monsters. But this will help you fully understand everything that is going down in Monsters Unleashed and fully appreciate what the story is trying to do and what it is calling back to. So that is it. Thank you all very much for your support. Remember to rate, comment, and subscribe. Check out all the cool links in the description below. You can check out the playlist for my comic book or graphic novel reviews and stuff. And want to check out my Monsters Unleashed review, please do so. So that's it. Thank you all once again, and I'll see you all next time.